Okay, real talk. Do you feel like first dates are fun and exciting, or do you feel like they absolutely drain you and you're like, oh my God, this is exhausting. I'm so tired of dating. I can't stand this. Okay, well, I'm going to tell you right now, it is completely normal to feel the latter because a lot of people feel drained. A lot of people feel like this is exhausting. When I'm going to meet this person, it doesn't feel like I am. And I just feel like I'm just in this abyss and it's never ending. And I just absolutely fucking hate dating. Okay, yeah, that I might have just summed up some or all or every little tiny ounce of your emotional being inside you. Because the reality is, first dates are fucking hard. They are. And they're awkward sometimes. And that's part of the human experience. I literally was just telling one of my male clients this yesterday. We had a session and he said, okay, but like, I want things just to like go really well and I don't want to mess up. And I said, look, awkwardness is part of the human experience. So if things feel awkward or there's a lag in conversation and there's a pause, that awkward silence, don't try to fill it. Just go with it because that's rolling with the punches of getting to know somebody and dating somebody completely new. But here's the deal. There are things that you absolutely 110% should and should not be doing when it comes to first dates. So we are going to be diving into the do's and don'ts when it comes to first dates. And I'm just going to say, we always have the taco section, which if you've been here before, welcome again. If you are new here, get ready because you might just gasp. Taco stands for talking about coming in orgasms. Yep, I know. I feel so proud of that acronym because as I've talked about before on this podcast, if you've been with me for a while, you know. And if you're new here, like, welcome. You're awesome. Thanks for staying and hanging out with us. But I'm just going to be real with you. Like, when I came up with that, my family was like, what the fuck, Carla? And I was like, I think it's great. I think it's awesome. So that is the acronym. But we are going to be talking about whether you kiss or not on a first date. This is a huge debatable question, and people have lots of feelings around it. And I'm going to tell you my 110% feelings around this because I don't hold back on Carla Turned On. But first, welcome to Carla Turned On, where dating and relationships get real, sex gets talked about, and the BS gets left on red. Let's get turned on. Here's the thing with first dates. You go into it nervous. There's a lot of emotions. And I'm going to be real with you. If you're like, I don't get nervous, I just go and roll into the first date. Good. I'm really, honestly, you're one of a kind. Because as a dating and relationship coach, I can tell you right now that when I was dating and I was on the apps, I would get nervous right before I met somebody. It's somebody new. You do not know them. It's unfamiliar territory. You don't know what you're going to get yourself into. And it's really vulnerable. Elephant in the room. We're on this date because we're trying to meet somebody. That is, if you are dating intentionally. Even if you're not dating intentionally, you're still meeting somebody new, regardless of what the motives are behind that one. But I'm going to say this right now. This is the philosophy that I picked up and that I share with my clients all the time when it comes to first dates. And that is, do they fit into my life? Not do I fit into their life? Because it is so easy, time and time again, I see this with my clients over and over again, to go into those first dates wondering, did I say the right thing? Am I wearing the right thing? What was my facial expression right there? This is men and women, okay? I know a lot of times men are kind of just seen as like, oh, they've got it together. They don't care about dating. Bullshit. They care. And a lot of women, obviously, feel very insecure about certain things around dating because we're all what? Fucking human beings. It is a normal thing to go through, okay? So if you feel nervous, you feel anxious, that is normal, but I do not want you to get wrapped up in that narrative of, oh my God, did I say the right thing? Do I look okay? Oh gosh, did I pick the right spot? Oh no, should I not have said this? Maybe I should have said this. Is it romantic enough? Blah, blah, blah. Like, stop. Stop the noise. We're going to stop the noise right now. And I'm going to tell you exactly what might be killing or making your first dates. Okay, so let's go into that. We are going to first start with our do's. Okay, we're going to start with that positive. The do's to first dates, things that I'm like, Carla's sitting here in your corner cheering you on, like, fuck yes, let's go. You fucking got this. Okay, side note, I play competitive kickball and Okay, well, I was in a social league and now I'm actually coaching my husband's kickball team. This is a true story. Coaching my husband's kickball team right now. As a coach, I am that person going, "Come on, let's go. Get the first. Hustle, hustle. Come on." That's me. And that's what I'm going to sound like in your ear, in your memory ear, because I'm not going to be there with you on that first date as you sit down on that first date. Okay, let's get into the do's. Number one, ask what they are looking for. I cannot stress this enough. It actually bothers me. No, it doesn't actually bother me, but well, yeah, it does. Okay. When I was dating, it would bother me, okay, where I would just go on dates and it just seemed like the person was not intentional. However, I learned very quickly, and I had my clients doing this, and I know that they learned as well, that you need to ask the question, what are you looking for? You cannot just assume that somebody is going on this date with you because they just want a relationship. No, not everybody wants a relationship. The do's. It doesn't need to be this does not need to be a long ass discussion. Okay. We don't need to sit here and talk about your future plans and what exactly you want and exactly what you're looking for. A simple, just curious, and this can be toward the end of the date if you're having a good time and enjoying it. Just curious. Obviously, we met on this app. Doesn't have to be an app. It could just be, oh, I know, obviously we're on a date. Doesn't matter how you phrase it. Okay. Just curious, what is it that you're looking for in regards to dating? And then just listen and watch. And I say watch because you want to watch their body language, but you definitely want to ask this question. Because if you don't ask the question, you're going to be frustrated like I used to be once upon a time and go on dates with people who just aren't intentional, who don't even know if they want a relationship. Yes, their profile might be amazing. Yes, when you meet them in the wild, they seem so cool and they asked you out. But the reality is, it's not always straightforward. Ask. Okay, ask that damn question. And yes, if you're like, oh my God, but this seems like a lot or too much, you're probably falling a little bit into that anxious attachment style. And Carla Turned On has episodes on anxious attachment style. You can go back in that catalog and look for. I'm also going to say this too. If you are new here, which I am super excited because you found us, and if you're an OG or you're a returning listener, please don't forget to rate the podcast. This helps get the word out to anywhere that you listen to podcasts, whether it's Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Please rate us. Give us a little review. I love reading them. It makes my heart happy to know that I'm not just sitting here talking to myself. Well, I am currently, but you're listening to me now. So welcome. And if you want to work with me in any capacity, you can go to carlaromo.com or look in the show notes and you can work with me one-on-one. All right, let's keep going. So the next do is to be curious and not impressive. All right. This is where people get this part wrong a lot is a lot of times people try to impress. They're like, okay, I need to make sure I have a good backstory. I need to have a good answer for this and that and whatever. And then boom, it just starts to spiral and you're no longer actually curious about the other person and trying to get to know them. Instead, you're self-focused and not in a narcissistic, cocky way, but you're all of a sudden self-focused. Yeah, you're self-focused on what? Not fucking up. You're self-focused on trying to make yourself seem cool or likable or relatable or okay, romantic, right? Whatever it might be, whatever pressures that we put on ourselves, which are normal when it comes to dating. But at the same time, you do not want to carry those through on the date because the more curious you can lean into, you actually get to know this person and then you start to actually create connection. And then in turn, the ideal situation, because I know lots of clients are like, I ask questions and the person doesn't ask me questions back. That's a red flag. But I will say that in turn, the idea is that then they start getting curious about you and wanting to ask questions. This creates connection and depth. All right. So the more that you can kind of expand in terms of curiosity, ask follow-up questions, and actually listen, the other person is absolutely going to feel seen in these situations. Our next to do is create a vibe and not an interview. All right. There's a really great framework in asking questions. I'm just going to give it to you for free right now. This is proven. It works every time. You're going to share about yourself up front. Okay? So you do not want to feel like rapid fire questions, but you want to make sure you're talking about things you're interested in to see, is there a connection here? This is what I want you to do. You share about yourself. Oh, I love hiking. I just did this really cool hike last weekend. I really, I like to do these longer hikes sometimes, but I have to, build the stamina because it is harder to do those hikes. But I don't know, I just find so much enjoyment in these hikes. What do you like to do that's outdoors? Or what do you like to do that's active? Okay, so you can fill in the question. You share a little bit about yourself. It invites the person in. to actually share back, make a connection point, or they disagree with you and you get to learn something really cool and new about them. You don't want to feel like you're in an interview, okay? You want to create an atmosphere that feels welcoming and feels fun and is exciting, right? Because why do you go on a date? You want to connect with somebody. You want to have fun with someone, all right? The idea is not to sit there and be in your sorrow of, oh my God, I'm never going to meet somebody. So I'm just going to go sit here because I'm supposed to, even though you might feel that way, because lots of people do. It's normal, but we don't want you to stay in that. The next to do, hey, real quick, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want dating support, don't forget to look in the notes below where you can learn all about my guides and how to work with me. And if you want to follow me on my socials, you can find me anywhere at I am Carla Romo. Let's get turned on. Would 110% is be you. Yes, absolutely. Be you. You are enough. Now, this doesn't mean trauma dump, share your backstory of how hard life has been. This means I want you to own who you are. I see this a lot. Women like to downplay their success. Oh, I don't want to intimidate a dude. Well, guess what? I'm sorry, but if you're intimidated, whether you're a man or a woman going on a date because somebody's sharing how exciting their life is or something really cool that they've accomplished and done, because they're just sharing about themselves and you interpret that as a threat, that is a direct correlation to being insecure. Okay. So it is not about you. So I always say, do not downplay your success. This goes for guys too. Okay. Some men feel a little like, oh, I don't really want to share that, or I'm worried that they're only going to be attracted to me because of this. You know what? Bullshit. Just go for it. Share about yourself. I don't want you to hold back. I want you to be authentic, because if you try to water it down and be anybody else, they are going to be falling in love with the wrong person. And then what? Boom, one day they wake up and there's the real you. I don't think so. We're not doing that here on Carla Turned On. So 100%, I want you to show up. Actually, 110%, I want you to show up as you. And then our last to do is pay attention to your body language. Okay, this one is very big because I want you to know, do you feel calm? Do you feel anxious? Do you feel nervous? Is that coming across that way? Are you doing anything to be closed off? Are you crossing your arms? Are you leaning in and listening? Are you making that eye contact? You want to make sure that your body language is showing, I am interested. Okay? Because if it's not showing that, I'm going to tell you right now, okay? I could keep it real here. That person might be having a good conversation with you, but that body language is such a freaking turnoff that all of a sudden they're like, I don't think they're into me. I'm not feeling a vibe. I don't feel a connection. You want to make sure the body language speaks just as much as your mouth does. Okay. It's a bizarre saying, but we're going to go there. And a lot of times if you're like, oh my God, there's so much sparks, this is amazing, blah, 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 I want you to slow down. I know I'm not trying to take away the excitement and the fun of being in a, first date sparky situation, but I just want to remind you that chemistry a lot of times is anxiety. So if you feel yourself like, oh my God, this person is amazing, I'm pedestaling the shit out of them and they're just so great. And oh my God, do I look okay? Does my hair okay? My outfit, I don't know what to do. Calm down. Just for a moment. Calm down. Watch your body language. Kind of give yourself a moment. Give yourself a beat to kind of recollect yourself. Now we're going to get into the 5 don'ts on a first date. Number 1 is trauma dump. I'm sorry, but that is not a way to actually seal the deal. It's not a way to actually bond with somebody. You're bonding over trauma, but that is typically a trauma response. And it's not your job to therapize them, if that's a word. And it's not your job to be the listening ear on a first date. That's actually inappropriate. Yes. And guilty. I'm somebody who used to love when somebody trauma dumped, because then I would share my trauma and be like, oh my God, we're both fucked up. Oh, this is great. Okay, good. I finally found somebody who gets me. No, that is unhealthy. That is unhealed trauma. I can say that from somebody who used to do that. It did not lead me into healthy relationships. It led me into relationships that were dysfunctional and chaotic. And as a result, they didn't work out. Number 2, talk about exes in the wrong way. We are not here to shit on exes. We are not here to even really talk about exes. I'm really honestly against talking about exes on a first date. However, if somebody asks the question, oh, what about your exes? This is what you can say. You wrap it up really beautifully of, oh, there were some differences. It's why we broke up. But hey, if we go on more dates, we can talk more about it, because you're giving yourself a boundary. You don't need to sit there and talk about it right there and then. Nah. But I will say this. It is important to eventually get into the ex discussion, maybe dates number 2 or 3, but you also want to make sure that's not the focus here. And also, I'm going to let you know next week, we are dropping an episode on how to master dates 2 and 3 when things actually start to progress and move forward. So if you're like, okay, I'm getting this first date stuff, but I need kind of like some extra substance, definitely check out next week's episode. And let's not forget, it is an absolute red freaking flag if they talk shit about their exes. Okay? Just full stop. Number 3 of do nots is you interrogate them. Okay, what did I say about the do's and the interview parts? Like you don't want it to feel like an interview, right? Like, yeah, the interrogation process, like, so do you want kids? When would you want to get married? What would that look like? Where would you want to grow up and like raise a family? Where would you want to, I don't know, all the freaking questions. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, like, that's not cute. That's going to cause anxiety. It's going to cause serious disconnection. And you are projecting all of your fears and your worries onto this person on the date. And it's a little bit awkward. Yeah. I'm just going to say it. So you do not want to go there. You want to stay present. You want to stay confident. You want to stay grounded, but we are not going into the space of interrogation. Number 4, try to control the outcome. Oh, this one is hard. Don't try to plan date number 2 mid-date. I tell people all the time, don't even try to plan date number 2 till after you left. Yeah, like give yourself a beat and reflect. Did I enjoy the date? You just met this person. Also, like don't try to force a spark, the romantic connection. Like if you're like, oh my God, I don't know if it's there. I'm going to like try to put my arm around them and see, do I feel anything? Like don't try to do those things. It's going to make you feel crazy. Just allow yourself to live in it versus trying to control it. And number 5, do not forget to check in with yourself. This is big. Do I like them? Am I enjoying this? Is this fun? Do we have things in common? If so, can I list them out? What do I like about them? Those are really important because it's important to ground yourself in these moments of uncertainty when you're getting to know somebody completely new. A first date is not fireworks. A first date is all about being grounded, getting to know somebody, and really at the end of the day, this should be your fucking motto. Do we have enough in common to go on a second date? Happy dating! All righty! We are getting into our taco section, talking about coming and orgasms. And today we are going to be diving into, do you kiss or not on that first date? Like, is that a thing? What do you do? What do you suggest? Okay, I'm just going to be straight with you. Most people do not kiss on a first date. That's just the truth. Now, if you guys are both feeling it, and you're like, oh yeah, this is great. Like I'm feeling the attraction and like, we're going to kiss. This is really nice. This is awesome. Go for it. I don't care. I'm not sitting here telling you can't kiss somebody on a first date. I'm just giving you the freaking norms. Most people don't know each other when you're going on a date. There hasn't been like, oh, we met at a birthday party and decided to go on a date. All right. You met in the grocery store aisle and you decided to go on a date and you guys chatted for a little bit in the grocery store aisle. This is completely random. I met them on an app. Somebody set me up or whatever. And then boom, you're on a date with somebody you've never met before. It's normal not to kiss. It is okay to give somebody a hug goodbye and a hug hello, but you also have to make sure you're comfortable with that too. However, if you are going to kiss somebody on a first date, this is what you need to be looking for. You want to look at the body language, eye contact. Are you guys making eye contact at the end? Or does it seem like the person's kind of distracted and looking around? Lingering energy, this is going to be the biggest one. If the person's kind of just hanging around, you guys, oh yeah, this is nice. Yeah, you too. And then you're kind of like, where do you go from here? Well, I'll give you a hug, and you give the person a hug and they kind of pull away and then they look at you and they hold there for a little bit or linger in that hug. That could be an indication of a kiss. Just because one person's lingering and feeling it doesn't mean that the other person has to reciprocate that. Hell no. Do what feels comfortable for you. And also, there needs to be a mutual vibe. All right. So there could be some playfulness in it, or maybe you feel a little bit more serious. It doesn't matter. And I'm going to be real. Most things are not like the movies. So don't freak out if you're like, oh my God, like, I don't know. It's like not romantic to kiss in this parking lot, whatever. It doesn't matter. But I'm going to say this. You do not want to force it. You do not want to force anything when it comes to a first kiss because you don't want to make the other person feel uncomfortable. And honestly, it's a first date. You do not know this person. So maybe give yourself a moment to get home and then decide, do I like them? Do I not like them? Focus on those things versus trying to make that chemistry of the physical connection right away. And ultimately, I'll just say this, that sometimes people linger because they're interested, okay? And sometimes people are like, oh, like this is a really nice date and I don't really want to leave because it's fun and I have feelings for this person. But they're not ready to take that physical step on that first date and kiss someone. So don't just assume, oh, they're lingering, I'm just going to go for it. You can always ask. You can always ask because what? What do I always say? Consent is sexy. And there are hot ways to ask about that. And if you're interested, you're like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to navigate this. You can check out my sex guide, which is No Filter, the sex guide every dater needs. It has so much info packed in there. And if you're like, where do I find that? You can find it in the show notes or carlaromo.com. And remember, at the end of the day, when in doubt, don't kiss. Happy dating. Loved this episode? Rate it 5 stars, hit that subscribe button, baby, and leave a review. Do you want to work with me? Grab my dating courses, apply for my coaching at carlaromo.com or find it all in the show notes, and give me a little follow at I am Carla Romo on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Catch you next time and stay tuned. Carla Turned On is for educational and entertainment purposes only. This is not a substitute for therapy. For professional support, please reach out to a licensed mental health provider.